Hey guys, my name is Hannah Andrews, and the title of my scientific investigation is Why All Plants Fit the Category. For my scientific investigation, I decided to address the common misconceptions that students have about plants, mainly categorizing what a plant exactly is. Through my investigation, I collected different kinds of plants and grouped them into two main categories, namely monocot plants and dicot plants. In elementary school, the topic and study of plants are one of the first things that students begin to learn about. Early on, they are able to plant seeds, observe their growth cycle, measure how fast or how slow they are growing, and also classify them into different categories. Many elementary school students often categorize plants based on any recognizable characteristics that they may have. They think that if it's green, it grows in the ground, it has stems, flowers, or leaves on it, then it can be considered a plant. Young children also think that plants do not grow very big or tall. And many elementary school students also think that a tree can't be classified as a plant. But based on their limited classifying skills, they just don't understand that many things can be classified as a plant, including trees or vegetables. In my investigation, I spent a lot of time in the library researching different ways that people have classified plants before in the past. I found a lot of books in the library, but the one book that I used a lot in this investigation was called Maberly's Plant Book, a portable dictionary to plants. I also found a couple websites that were super helpful when it came to classifying plants and the different categories that people have placed them in before. While I was doing my research, I found that a lot of people in the past have also done research on the life cycle of plants. Many of them have conducted experiments before where they have dissected a lot of the different plant types that there are. Another thing that I found that people have done is they've done experiments that have to do with a lot about the environments that plants can grow in and what the plants feed off of, and just things that are the main environmental factors when it comes to the life cycle of plants. My project is different from other projects that I found while doing my research because instead of doing a regular experiment, I chose to switch it up a little bit and do a classificatory investigation. For my classificatory investigation, my main focus was on grouping plants together that I found into two main categories. Category 1 would be monocot plants, and Category 2 was the dicot plants. My research question is, what are monocot and dicot plants, and how can you classify them based on their physical features? My hypothesis is, if an organism is not green, does not have any flowers or leaves on it, and doesn't grow in the ground, then it cannot be classified as a plant because it does not fit the outward appearance of what monocot and dicot plants are supposed to look like. For my investigation, I decided that I wanted to gather at least 12 different kinds of plants from various places in North Carolina. I made a list of all the places I wanted to go that included my own backyard. There's a park in Greenville that I wanted to go to. My parents' house was also on the list in Raleigh, Falls Lake in Raleigh, the Walmart store here in Greenville, and then the Home Depot that's located in Raleigh. Once my list was completed, I decided that I wanted to take as many pictures as I could of the plants that I found so that when I got home I could begin grouping them into categories once I had everything uploaded on my computer. I collected both live specimens and pictures of the plants that I thought were cool. Once I collected 12 plants that I needed, I returned back to my house and uploaded all of the pictures that I took onto my computer. Then, once I had all the pictures printed out, I began to categorize them based on the research concerning the monocot and the dicot plants that I had found before. The next two slides show the differences between the monocot and the dicot plants and what they look like outwardly. Once I was done conducting my investigation, And looking at all my research and everything that I found a lot of different things. I found that not all plants are green. They don't all grow in the soil. Many of them can grow in the water. I found a lot of different plants that only had stems or didn't have any flowers on them or had a bunch of flowers on them. I learned that celery is in the dicot category of plants and that rice and corn are in the monocot category in plants. I learned that monocot flowers have petals in groups of 3 and that dicot flowers usually have 4 or 5 petals on them. And then I learned that both monocot and dicot plants have flowers growing on them. Monocot seedlings typically have only one seed leaf on them. Within their stem, their vascular bundles are also scattered, and their leaves are usually parallel and contain veins within the leaves themselves. Parts of some of the monocot plants, they actually flower, but usually only in multiples of 3. Here's a diagram of what monocot plants look like. And on the next couple of slides, I put pictures of flowers and other plants that I took that I categorized in the monocot category. Dicot seedlings typically have 2 embryonic leaves. Within the stem, their vascular bundles are grouped together in a ring formation around the outside. Their leaves usually look really net-like, and then parts of the dicot plant actually flowers as well, and it forms usually in groups of 4 or 5 petals like per flower. Here's an example of what dicot plants look like, and the next couple of slides are pictures that I took of flowers and other plants that I categorized in the dicot category in my project. After I got done completing my science investigation for this class, I realized that there's always going to be experiments and questions about plants and how they can be classified in our lives, especially when it comes to young students learning about them because the concept is still so new to them. Some future research questions that can be asked that I was thinking of that would go along with this investigation could include, are fruits and vegetables considered plants? Since plants can grow in water, can they also grow in cold climates as well? And can monocot and dicot plants grow next to each other? In doing this science investigation, I really feel like I learned a lot in this class. Science wasn't an easy subject for me growing up in school, and I also feel like it's not really an easy subject for a lot of people. Doing this investigation really helped me to see that organization strategies really play a key part in these types of activities. You really have to manage your time really well, especially being organized and then in keeping track of all your newfound data that you're collecting. I learned that there are many types of systems and ways to organize and classify things that are living in the world around us. By grouping a lot of these things into different systems, I think that we can understand their similarities and then their differences better. I also learned that change is a natural thing. Not only are we always going to be changing, but so are plants and the life that grows every day around us. Plants also have a life cycle, and so I think it's important for us to be able to understand and recognize that. Doing this investigation, I feel it really helped me to see that every step of scientific inquiry is really important to us. Questions are the key to learning. They're something that keep us on our feet and they enable us to expand our knowledge and to explore the world around us. Planning simple investigations is something that can help young children really learn at an early age how to find the answers to the things that they might be questioning in their own lives. They need to learn how to use the appropriate tools in order to gather their data. If we conduct an investigation and we don't really have the proper equipment, it's going to be hard for us to gather all the evidence that we need to form our own opinion. And so I really feel like that's something that's important for all of us to understand, as well as teach young children at a young age as well. I learned that not only through this investigation, but also in the book while I was reading, that science is something that we do and we create every day in our own lives. It's not going to be something that we can easily escape. We're all naturally curious. We're always wondering, we're always questioning things around us. And I think that because we are naturally curious, we oftentimes conduct experiments or have our own investigations in order to find out the truth to what we're looking for. We always are going to be involved in science through one way or another, and I think because of this fact, we will always be growing and changing as we continue to learn more and more each and every day.